I feel like with decades past and generations before us, they always had a sort of type of influence that embraced and encouraged a certain set of values. Some call it being a good Samaritan, others call it chivalry. Some may call it just being kind and caring. But they always had these good sets of values. For example, be good to everybody, treat everyone the same, be patient with people, even if they may not deserve it, and you know, don't don't make fun of people, don't judge people. And they would always kind of have, you know, this kind of forgiving essence, or this forgiving quality, where no matter what someone did, I'll put a disclaimer on that. While in some cases, they would cross the line where you couldn't come back. But in most cases, they would forgive them if the issue or the mistake or the bad action was done was fairly minor. And some may ask, well, what are these good values? What are these good traits, or these good Samaritan traits, or these chivalrous traits? Like, what are they, and what does it mean to essentially be good to other people? And we had, unfortunately, Gen Z doesn't really have that. For example, Gen X had Home Improvement in the 80s and the 90s, which basically gave an example using comedy with Tim Allen as how should a man be a man, how should a woman be a woman, what it means to be a dad, what it means to be a mom, what it means to raise a family, what it means to be a kid, what it means to have fun, what it means to have your own hobbies and to handle conflicts, and overall what it means to be good to other people. And even in the 50s, they had the Andy Griffith show. Whereas it was a little different. As the premise of the show was that Andy Griffith was the sheriff of a small town, and the show was thus more about law and order, respecting authority, appreciating what people have done and contributions, and to a certain extent, status, because the sheriff is the top, is the top guy, or the top dog, if you want to use that mantra, of the company or of that branch. And technically this would be the police, the police branch. But both of them shared something in common. What does it mean to be good to other people? Which is a good question, because it's not easy to do that. Because maybe someone's being mean to you, maybe someone's giving you a hard time, and you don't feel that they deserve it. Maybe they're harassing you. Maybe they're calling you names. Maybe they're insulting you. Obviously, don't let them disrespect you. But you don't have to return the same energy that they're returning to you. And it's kind of, I heard this from, and my mom kind of shared this. She would always say this when I was younger. She would say, kill them with kindness. Don't, again, kind of the same message I'm saying, or the same thing I'm saying. Don't be equally as mean to them, and don't stoop to their level and do the same things to you or don't do the same things to them that they're doing to you. Instead, be the bigger person and either learn to walk away or just respond in a different way that's much better, and know to yourself that you'll never be that person. You'll never be and I mean be that person. I mean be the person that would do such lowly things that the other individual is actively engaging in, which would be, insults and mockery, ridicule, slander, and other harmful acts. But when it comes to being a good person, it's about being selfless. Not saying, is it all about me? What is someone going to do for me? What have you done for me lately? You owe me this. You owe me that. You have to do this for me or else you're not worth anything. That thinking, it's easy to see how that thinking can start to sort of be a cancer and be a burden on your mind, or be a burden on how you interact with people. Because if everything's structured about how can you do for me, you only care about yourself. You don't care about building something that's bigger than yourself, because you've indirectly, whether you realize it or not, you have placed yourself at the forefront of everything that matters. Because everything is centered around what can someone do for me, not what can I do for someone else. And this was kind of reverberated in John F. Kennedy's inaugural speech. I think this was back in 1961. Yeah, this was 1961. And he said right at the end, don't ask what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Because as humans and as a human race, one of the most fulfilling things is contributing to something that's bigger than yourself. It's the same reason why religions exist. It's the same reason why clubs exist. It's the same reason why, clubs, like country clubs. It's the same reason why ideologies exist. Obviously, they're for different reasons, but it's the same and also it's the same reason why sports exist. They all exist because not only, obviously, it's not just the one thing, which would be that they all want to be part of something that's bigger than themselves. Obviously, if you're talking sports, they like the camaraderie. They like, having the guys around. Or if you're with sports, they like having the girls around and, being able to hang out with other people and have fun. And if your ideologies, there's motivations behind that too. But one of the common things they all share is that these men and women want to be part, or boys and girls as well, want to be part of something that's bigger than themselves. Because when you are part of something that's bigger than yourself, then you know that you can truly build something special, because inherently, just like how the Roman Empire was not built by one person. It wasn't built by Julius Caesar. It wasn't built by Augustus. It was built by a lot of people essentially saying, all right, let's build, it started, centuries before with the Roman Republic, with a bunch of people saying, all right, we're going to elect these consuls and these leaders to decide who's going to lead our country, who's going to take the reins, who's going to drive this country forward. And by doing that, they built something very special. And part of that was because you had all of these people, which is, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people, all contributing to the same thing, which was the prosperity of the community and the prosperity of the civilization or of the country. And part of this individualistic culture, and it's more hyper individualistic than ever nowadays, partly because of social media, because everything's about, oh yeah, how many followers do I have? How many likes did I get on a post? How many friends do I have? How many followers do I have? How many subscribers do I have on YouTube? Or how many, I don't know, how many views did I get on TikTok or on a TikTok post? Or did some person respond to did some famous person reply to my post or respond to me on whatever, on whatever platform? And what it's done is it's made people be obsessed with themselves because that's all they think about. And it's the same thing I said before. What has someone done for me lately? That's what the mentality is. And it doesn't work. It doesn't. You may think or people may think it works, but it doesn't. Because as a human race, if we don't stand together and strive for something greater than ourselves, we're destined to we're destined to basically remain at this stable level of primitive nature, where we are, we're selfish, we have a mentality of survival and not prosperity. We have this view that you have something I want, so I'm gonna go to war with you because I want what you have. So it would be like stealing from your neighbors, taking over people's property, burning things down, looting. Accusing people of things they didn't do. So false accusations. Yeah, and the list goes on, really. It really does. Because there's so many more selfish things that people can do. But the point is, it's all being selfless. It really is. That's what it comes down to. To be selfless is whilst making sure you survive, it's about putting other people before yourself. Ensuring your friends are happy. Ensuring your friends are doing good. Ensuring, the people around you are enjoying their life, or they have everything they need. To make sure that your friends or your family can go to you if they need anything, while setting boundaries, evidently, because at the same time you have to establish respect, because you have to, it's like the love versus respect balance. Because if someone doesn't respect you, they're not going to be able to love you. Because in a way, to love somebody, you have to respect them enough to love them. Because it's kind of like something, if you don't respect for example, if you don't respect, I don't know, let's say just a random leader, whatever, I don't know, like a world leader. If you don't respect a world leader, you're never going to get to a point where you love him, because if you don't respect him, then they can't be revered, they can't be admired, they can't be desired to be, they're not aspired to. You don't aspire to be that person because you don't respect him. It's like how, for example, people are more likely to obsess over tech moguls than it is over a dude who's an alcoholic and is struggling to pay rent. It's like, because nobody respects the guy, or not nobody, but much less people respect the guy who's an alcoholic than the person who's, made an insane a lot of money, whether it's, whatever tech mogul it is. And so what it is you have to establish a sort of respect at the same time. But whilst you're establishing that respect, if one of your loved ones needs something, just letting them know you'll be, if they need it, you'll be there. And there's a couple other, things that being good to others means. To an extent, introspection is very good, because in a way, if you don't have things figured out with yourself, if you don't have things fixed with yourself, then you're not gonna be happy with yourself and satisfied with who you are, and that dissatisfaction is gonna project onto other people when it's called projection, because it's a defense, one of the defense mechanisms. And so what you're going to do is you're going to project your problems onto somebody else. For example, if someone's a narcissist and they don't like that they have narcissistic behaviors, they're going to project it onto someone else and be like, oh, I don't like that guy, he's a narcissist. Or I don't like that girl, she's a narcissist. When in reality, she's not even close to a narcissist. She's just a normal person. Or maybe she has something else. I don't know. But she's not a narcissist. And so, to be good to others, you have to, again, really what it is you have to find a balance. You have to find a balance between fixing yourself whilst at the same time knowing what others need, if that makes sense. It really is a balance, because you can't be an extreme. Being extreme on either side doesn't work. It doesn't, because you're not going to solve what everybody needs. To really be able to figure out what everyone needs, you kind of have to be in the middle. You have to be in the middle of what two people think. Well, I'm saying two extremes think. For example, one extreme may be the, work 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. And then the other one could be, work 10 hours a week and don't even focus on your work. Somewhere in the middle. It's not either side. But I don't know. There's some other. I don't know. But there's a couple other things too. But again, just being selfless, respecting others, respecting others' boundaries. Respecting the time that other people set for themselves, respecting their dreams. Just be kind to other people. Because, because you really don't know how far one compliment can go, or just being good to one person can go. It goes a lot further than you may realize. And I'm starting to realize that too. But I mean, this video is kind of a little impromptu, because I was just kind of just winging it a little bit. But I might make a video on this in the future to kind of clean it up, to see if I, you know, have a more in-depth version of it, which I'm sure I will. But I just kind of wanted to, get my thoughts out there. But if this helped anybody, appreciate it. I'm glad I can help other people. Even if I can help one person, I'm already making a difference in the world. And so it kind of goes for other people. Even if you can help one person, that's exactly why you should keep going, because you're already helping people. So again, if any of what I've said resonated with you, then feel free to give a like or whatever. But yeah, if you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.